fact that I'm an African American has become a very important reality about the way I relate to the world. And that's what I see in this art show. The work in there has to do with the human condition, the kind of reality you experience as a black American living in the United States of America, and this fundamental sense of being the odd man out.
That was a very bad period when we had a president who was trying to rebuild the country. Franklin D. Roosevelt, he had a thing called the Works Progress Administration.
They were commissioned by the w.p.a, was there, and that's the Works Progress Administration, to produce the work, and that's what we were doing.
I mean, you had to produce something. You had to be interested in producing something, and they had to be convinced that that's what you were interested in.
And they gave the artists free rein to do paintings. Of course, they were a little bit fussy about nudes.
You had a group of people who were dedicated to producing incredible artwork. You did that out of your own proudness, you know, your own spirit.
I was interested in doing documentaries of the life of black people in the city. There was a great deal of discussion about the Negro question in those days. I thought it might be a nice idea to convey to people that you're talking about people. You know, ordinary human beings living in little houses and interesting streets that we had in Boston. Those days, sort of narrow streets, so narrow that it served as a kind of extension of the living rooms of the houses which bordered them. And so it was filled full of conversation and life, and the push carts coming in and out, and fishmongers and stuff. I mean, there's a sort of human dimension in the neighborhoods. I was busy making paintings documenting this just to show black people as ordinary people. Apparently, the work which I did more or less was a kind of record of something which has vanished.
I went to the Boston Museum School. I was working with a man named Carl Zerbe, who was a European, modern, contemporary artist. But he would show us Picasso, the Blue Period, his Cubist period, etc. And so we got a sort of overview and respect for the painting language or the visual language. I went to the Boston Museum and I saw Rembrandt and Rubens, and all of these people were presented as great artists creating universal truths all humanity could respond to and find relevance in. And among all these images, I never saw a black image. There were no great works of art that had images of people like me. And there was this conflict. But that became what my work was about. I wanted to present another aspect of what the American reality was, what my reality was, and that black people did exist, and that black people were as complex and as human and had as much potential for being symbols of truth and beauty as any other people.
You almost think of this country as being more or less an extension of Western art in the European sense. For us to understand ourselves, we have to understand what our roots are, and the roots of the Americas are Asian, African, and European. But we're only conscious, you might say, of the European aspects. What this particular exhibition does is to fill in a sort of empty space in our understanding of what art in America is like. This exhibition is not just for African Americans, but rather it's for the total country. For everybody here, so that everybody can understand his or her roots. The work of an artist is communication, so we're in the communication business. And the idea is communication. If you look in the middle of that word communication, you have community. The artist who makes a painting 40,000 years ago is communicating to us today, and we've become part of that particular community. And it's the one thing, you might say, that unifies all of mankind. Because it's all part of me, and it's all part of all of us.